I was just sitting here thinking, we're on our way back we did a day trip turnaround down to Pine Bluff and back, about 3.5, 4 hours. So it's a full day's drive. We left at 4, but man, when I get on these long drives like this, I get to thinking. And the one thing I have not done a great job of on the channel is just talk with you guys and tell you literally the story of where this all started and where it came from. And I think it's a little confusing where we picked up and just went with it and expected everybody to know how we started, where we come from, who we are, what we've done before, etc. But man, when you're first getting started, I was sitting here thinking, going down the road, the same problems I'm dealing with today that I was, almost 10 years later, 9.5 years in. And the worries that you have as an entrepreneur starting off is totally different. You're scared to death of everything. You're scared to death of hiring somebody, scared to death of keeping work out in front of them so they don't quit on you as soon as you get them hired, scared to death of all the accounting piece because you're not educated there, or you're scared to death to sell work, or you're scared to death, taxes. Like, I can go on and on and on about every little thing becomes such a fear. And I don't know how to tell you to get over the fear other than just by experience and living through it. But I'll tell you a quick story about our first job after buying our equipment. This is after about 3 months of renting equipment, and I had enough consistent work lined up. Mini X and skid steer. The year is 2016. And the first job I had with this Mini X, I felt so bad. It was almost all rock. The ditch was almost entirely the way. Got down about 2 feet. Then the bottom 2 foot had to be 48 inches, I believe, was just rock. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know I could go to a rental house. I didn't know I could go to the rental house and get that breaker and that Mini X and charge the customer, and I didn't charge him anymore. Hell, I didn't know. I was scared to death he wasn't going to pay me to begin with. And I was so scared to death, I made him wire me the same day I was done. And I was kind of a dick about it, to be honest with you. Because I was so scared to death of not getting paid. And there was no awareness to it. Nobody back then had a YouTube channel talking about any of the things that I try and talk about. But the fears in the first year or two, you just can't let it get in the way of betting on yourself. It's one thing to go buy this equipment. It's one thing to build a team. But betting on, just at the end of the day, betting on yourself to make it all work is what you're really, truly doing. And it's okay to be nervous. What we do is scary financially, people's families. Like, you should be educating yourselves before you're making business moves within whatever manner that is. Mine just happens to be experience in doing things wrong repetitively and learning from that. But there's some guys that never figured out, run businesses 30, 40 years, never knowing the difference. I'm choosing not to be that way. It's been hard making that transition, but those first couple of jobs, man, I was scared to death I wasn't going to get paid. And then I started really building relationships with a couple of people, and I wasn't too as scared, I should say. But then, every time it seemed like I picked up the phone in that first year, I was getting knocked in the head with, "Oh, you don't have this set up yet? I don't even know what you're talking about. What do you mean? Well, you don't have this? Have you checked this? Have you looked into that?" And I'm like, I have no idea what any of that means. I thought it was just selling work, go dig the hole and get paid. And it is not, guys. Don't let anybody tell you that it is. Because take the excavation business, for example. as you guys know, and some of you guys are probably feeling it, the oversaturation of the market is just unbelievable on the residential space, the light commercial space, and even at the commercial space. Like in everybody's market right now, it's completely saturated. There's more people than there ever has been, in my opinion, especially in the last 10 years, to all the people I'm talking to across the country. Now, you can't let that get in the way of you winning work. That's when you narrow down, figure out your cost even more to be able to get skinny to win jobs and still have a chance to be profitable of some sort, commercial speaking, but you just can't let it stand in the way of you winning work. Dive off into knowing your cost, check your production of your jobs, but also make sure you're putting accurate, or someone is accurately giving yourself good reporting through accurate accounting back to in front of you. Man, the things I could have done in year 4, 5, 6 along the way, like if I had all of those things in place that I have today, it's mind-blowing. That's what I try and teach on the podcast weekly with a guest who's an expert, because I'm not an expert at everything. All I know is how to grow from a mini X and a skid steer day one to another couple mini X's and skid steers to a dump truck to rent some bigger equipment. And here's another story for you guys. Like the fear of equipment purchases or buying the wrong thing or leasing or renting, or that's always such a topic of conversation. But the first Draco we bought was a Sani, and I know all of you are going to be like, what a douchebag buying a Sani for his first. But you know what? It was back before they really hit the market, and we were clearing a lot, and a guy that doesn't spend as much time, he wasn't a true blue operator at that point, and it would have happened to anybody. He reached up there to knock a tree off, and this should bring awareness. If you're knocking dead trees over, if you're knocking them in the middle, that top can come right back on you, and that's exactly what happened with our rented, I think it was a 135, an SY 135, by the way. Thought that was always fitting. But he dropped a tree right in the cab, and at that point I either had to buy the machine or put a new cab on it to the tune of half the cost of the machine. So at that point, we had to end up buying that excavator. Was I totally prepared to buy that excavator? Absolutely not. That's why I was renting it. Am I glad I bought it? Yeah. Overall, now that I see how things played out, yes, of course I'm glad I bought it. Put a lot of pipe in the ground. But at the time, man, I thought I can't believe I'm having to do this, make this purchase. Barely made it happen, too, being a used piece of equipment, damaged piece of equipment, financing, it was a nightmare. It was, but bought it, got the cab all straightened, fixed it out. You couldn't even tell. Could not even tell, but they couldn't legally rent the machine with damage to the ROPD. Man, all those horror stories in year 1, year 2 that you hear from people, I had them just the same. I deal with them on the daily, but just a lot of different problems than whatever I dealt with. I know how to deal with those problems because I actually know they're a problem now. A lot of times in year 2, year 3, you just don't even know, and things keep coming up every single day, and you build this fear of, oh my God, what's going to catch me next? What's going to catch me next? Or what am I not doing that I should be doing? It will all work out. I just want to be a little bit encouraging to you. I don't have it all figured out, but all those little tiny things, if you can try and not freak out about the small things, your mindset is going to be totally different on the focus, core values, vision, or cruise, or estimating, or any of it, because you're not sitting there self-doubting yourself the entire time while you're dealing with any of that. So, but following up on that market saturation point I was just on, is be different in the market, whether that's You know, as Jesse Cole with Savannah Banana says, fans first, and he has a different, completely different approach on look on business in general. But you got to be different. I'm a pipe guy, and as you guys will know, coming very soon, there'll be a full video coming up about it. We're selling our dozer and moving away from commercial earthwork and just sticking to the pipe and keeping our pipe crews busy and doing what we know. And there's a full video coming out about that. There's going to be plenty of questions about it. I'm excited to answer them for you guys. I can't sit here and tell you chase profit, and here I am just chasing revenue to say I have it, to feed an ego, to whatever excuse you want to use for yourself of why you're carrying this giant dozer payment. And, you know, don't get me wrong, there was times that we made money. There's no doubt about that. But those margins just aren't there. And I've been just watching the market for the past 5 or 6 months, and I'm like, this doesn't make sense to go do commercial earthwork with, like I was telling you guys, you know, in the resi world, up here at the commercial world, and in the development lane, like in my area, there's more people than there ever has been. And so it's tough to reoccur, you know, revenue with said clients because they're getting 5 or 6 or 8 bids. I mean, so cool thing is I'd rather bid pipe to 5 or 6 of those dirt guys and we end up getting the pipe contract. The reason, I know I kind of went off on a little bit of a tangent here, but I'm just sticking to what I know, but it also differentiates me within the marketplace. Yeah, there's other utility contractors, but there's not near as many. And I would encourage you guys to learn as much pipe as you possibly can. Storm drain, sanitary sewer, water. That's critical infrastructure that most of this entire country is needing. And, you know, like Trebo himself, he's got several dirt crews, but they sat there and said this morning, like, we would rather just do dirt and never mess with pipe. And that's a running theme with a lot of dirt contractors. And you're like, well, Si, how am I supposed to learn pipe? Got something coming for that. But, man, go and work on a pipe crew. Gain experience. I worked at municipalities since I was 19, jumped in at 19, 20 years old. Then I worked at a handful of different contractors, trying to find my place, ran several crews, pieces of equipment. And I kind of just thought to myself, you know what? I'm gonna go do my own thing. But I wanted to concentrate on pipe. So to circle all of this in, well, Si, why'd you buy a dozer to begin with? Well, fair question, sir, because I had a loyal employee that made the investment, and I returned that investment. And over the last 2 years, it's been great. But over the last 6-8 months, the market's really fallen off the nose. Margins have really fallen off the nose. And I really started dirt to begin with to be able to sell as a total site contractor. Well, guess what? I'm getting more calls for pipe than we ever have. We've got some really good pipe contracts coming. I'm just going to focus on the main thing, be different within the market, and not give them the total package. Look, all 5 of those guys, they all suffer with pipe. We don't. You can use us or you can use them, and we'll move forward just like that. But look out for that video. It was fun heading down here to Trebo's. Got to talk with him a little bit. He really appreciated the help in getting him out of the bind that they're in. The job is a very heavy commercial job that we're accustomed to in our market. And the boys got safetied up, got all their classes done last night, and then the trailer class video class this morning. And now they're laying out, getting their model all loaded in and laid out across the job where all the boxes are. And just be different. And it may be different in how you talk with your customers. It may be different. Just find your difference within the market. Don't just be the same, because that's what everybody does. Got to be different, especially right now when things get tight. and the market gets drawn down like it does, there's not as many projects firing off. There's fixing to be, in my opinion, next year's looking good, but you may be in a totally different market. But I think for the overall majority of us, I think next year's going to be much better than this year. Cross our fingers.